cooking bloke. Not quite sure how this is going to turn out. There's a lot of noise going on. I've got a washing machine going on. I've got some spaghetti boiling away furiously. I've got the onions and garlic sizzling. We'll see what happens, right? So what I thought is, what I tend to do, obviously from time to time, is if you've got stuff hanging around, then what can you do with it? So I had a couple of tomatoes. I have a third of a tin of beans, and you will think, throw that crap away, it's minging. Maybe not, maybe not. I've got a piece of beef. I got out the freezer. So, piece of sirloin. Then I've got this tube of tomato puree. It's been in the fridge like a couple of weeks now. I'm thinking, well, okay, I'll bang that in as well. Then I thought, well, I've got a load of these sauteed St. George's mushrooms. Utilise them, I like those, in chilli. I put one of these chili con carne mixes in a saucepan. And I've got another one just in case that doesn't turn out to be enough. And then I've got some extra chili. So over here then, got the spaghetti, which is almost done. And what I do with spaghetti is I pour into the water some olive oil. And the olive oil prevents the spaghetti from sticking together. Now, let me just, that's probably about right. And what I do is that I snap it. I snap the spaghetti. I snap it into manageable pieces so you're not looking like an idiot when you're trying to eat it. Okay. That's done. Happy with that. So, I'll train that in a minute. This sauce, gonna add that into the beef when I turn it in to the mushrooms, the garlic and onions. Now, I'm never shy with garlic. I use the whole onion and I use 2 whole onions of garlic. And just chop them into 3 so they're nice and chunky. When you eat them, wow, all that stuff going on. So then down here, I'm just going to mince this beef, take a swig of this. This is the remnant of the beer that I started in the graveyard. Just couldn't palate it today. So, we'll have that off and I'll feed that to the birds when I cook that up. But I've not got a mincer. I have a blender and I could attempt at blending this, but I'm thinking, well, I think if it's just kind of like that, it's enough, isn't it? I think so. So I'll cut that. Ouch! Well, I don't want to start adding a few fingernails to the blend like that. And I think it will be texturally a little bit more interesting. And I'm going to keep this pretty rare, so I'm going to make sure everything else is cooked before I put the beef in, because I don't want it to be too cooked and tough. A bit more for the birds, I think. So I had another, you know, half an hour with Providence and his comrades. Of course, whenever it comes to feeding time, nobody is a friend. It's every man for himself. And then you'll see what happens is that if the squirrels aren't brave enough to come down to where I'm feeding them, then they will run after whoever is brave enough and's got a nut in their mouth. And you see them bolt up through the trees. They just launch faster than you can throw a stone. They just, whoosh, they're gone. But Providence, you see, because he's, well, he's got an acquaintance with me. So he doesn't come to the regular feeding place where all the friends is. He'll come down the trees, he comes over the top and he'll hang right down like you've seen in the video maybe yesterday, and he'll hang down. And sometimes I'll pass to him, but other times I'll just hold out my arm like this and he'll have to jump, and he runs up and then he greets me, he sniffs, and sometimes he'll have a little nibble like that on the end of my nose. You know, I don't know whether he's tasting it with his tongue or what he's doing, but he likes to do that. He always likes to come up and, yeah, okay, it's you, you're cool. And then, this afternoon, there was one that was coming down in the tree, and he was only like 3 feet away, and Providence is looking at him, and he's not looking at him, and then Providence jumps out the tree onto my shoulder, and he's like, well, fuck you! You ain't coming here, are you? It's a bit like Jesus saying, like, where I'm going, you cannot come. But the point is, you can go, but you just gotta know how. You've got to have that certain frequency of consciousness to allow you to do it. So, okay, well, these St. George's mushrooms that I picked in April, I thought, well, may as well bang those in, and so gonna put those along with, you know, I'm already putting chopped tomatoes in, but when you've got your own chunky fresh tomatoes, we may as well use those. So put those in and empty those in there, sauteed in butter. Then, you look, a few beans like this, all they're going to do is just add a little sweetness to the chilli. But I think on this occasion, I don't want that little bit of a sweetness from the tomato sauce. So they're going to go in the bin. So, bin them. Tomatoes. With herbs and spices in. Then the tomato puree, may as well use that. No point in throwing that away. Yes, sirree. And then, of course, there are the chili beans. So I'm going to put the onions back on, just to cook a little bit more. Then I'm going to put chili beans in there. At this point, may as well drain off the spaghetti. Yeah. And then what I do is, just to be sure, I'll pour a little bit more olive oil onto the top of those. And then I'll just turn it in, just to ensure that that is all nice and So then, take this opportunity to put them in the Tupperware. So, got that. Spaghetti. Keep that a little bit warm, like that. Okay. I've burned the onions a little bit, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer more olive oil in the pan. Burnt bottom, not going to be great, but the onions and garlic aren't burnt. Okay. So that, you know, I think we're ready to add the rest of the ingredient. So we'll put that in. And get all that out because there's not that much. I don't know whether I'm going to have another packet of that. Oh yeah! Woo! Right, a little bit of a look at that, closer up. Is that looking delicious? So we're going to turn that down to gas mark 3. Just let that do a little bit of simmering. I'll take a breather in between. From time to time, I don't know why, but it comes up in my feed or on adverts or something, Gordon Ramsay. Now personally, oh my god, get in there. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like that guy. He's even more arrogant than you and Brave. Arrogant, horrible bastard he is. Fucking. If cooking was that hard, I wouldn't bother. I really wouldn't. If running the business was that hard, fucking, abusing everybody so everyone's terrified and trembling. No, I wouldn't bother. And then I'm thinking, well, you know, what is it that attracts people to watching his show? Because of the friction, because of the terror that people are under, because of the bollockings issued and all that sort of stuff. People thrive on that shit, don't they? Can you imagine if people have got mundane, boring lives? They just have to tune in to something which is going to give them a bit of zest in their life. And so if it's Gordon Ramsay, if that's the best you can do, then okay. Alternative to that is the Woke and Brave. You can tune into him because he'll tear you in the arsehole every day. So I made some videos today and they're really pretty bad. Some of them in relation to bad things that happened over the last few years. People taking bad things. And I'm saying, set yourself right if you're stupid enough to take that stuff. Because you know you're dying, right? And if you're not dying, you're very, very lucky. You've had a batch that wasn't intended for you to end up like that. But if we look across the board, we can see a lot of stuff that's happening with people. And I said it. And I said it. and I pointed the finger at those who took it and were crying out in allegiance with it and chastising everybody who wasn't. There's conspiracy theorists and disgusting, vile people, and you know they should be put in prison. They should be contained, and because you know we all should be taken really. And now look what happened: millions of people, and millions of people getting very sick. But I've said it in a video, and my ego is still fighting with that now. Well, I'm going to put it up because for those who took it, who were stupid enough, who were complicit enough, compliant enough, all the tracing people that I hate, by the way, could I be so cruel as to rejoice in what they did? But I said it. Why did I say it? What made me say it? Some things have to be said, people. It's a hard life. And sometimes we do things that cause our demise. We do things that ruin our lives. We make errors. We listen to the wrong people. We take bad advice. Some of you have done that. Some of you may regret it. Some of you may be in denial. Some of you may have gotten lucky with the batch that you took. Others, not so lucky. But I said it, and it needs saying, because people need to be confronted with their errors and their biases and how vile and disgusting they were to people that weren't complicit and complying and bending over and grovelling, you know, at the new gods that were all over our TV screens. You know, the new god beginning with A and F. Yeah, those people who people were worshipping for their philanthropy and all the wonderful things that they was supposed to be doing, but those people are evil. It's on record that they're evil. All the things they've done, it's been busted, they've been busted. Evil. You make your own minds up about that. But if you fell foul of these people, well, you've still got time to do something about it. And the least you can do is to promulgate you made a mistake and to ensure that your loved ones and people that respect you don't make those mistakes in the future. And apologise profusely if you dragged any of your kids or family members to those centres which did that. Sometimes we just gotta face what we do in our lives. I'll say no more on that. Right. Uh-oh. Perfect. All it needs now is, oh, it's good. That's a good mix. That is a good mix. Now, to put the beef in there and to leave that for 5 minutes. Cooking on a low light, nothing more, because that beef is going to be tender and delicious. Right. I'll put it on there, turn that down to 2 swig. I'm going to cut this fat up because the jackdaws will love this. Cut it up into manageable pieces so they can just swallow it whole, because it's very tough. But as soon as they spot this, they'll be straight down for a bit of that. Now those of you that are familiar with my delivery you'll know that there's certain energies that fluctuate through me, and if I'm ever going to be making a real ranting video, then the chances are it's when I've come out of the gym, when I have my testosterone at peak levels. That's when I'm more likely, it isn't a given, but it's when I'm more likely to be exorcising that spirit, letting that spirit out. Whatever that spirit wants to say, the heightened intensity of that energy is powerful stuff. And so then sometimes I say things that the karma facet of spirit within me doesn't necessarily agree with. But because they all came from this thing, all inspired by cosmic consciousness, then 99% of the time, if I've said it, I'll upload it. The odd occasion is too vitriol, and I go, no, we can't put that one up. There's something I've got to deal with there, so I've got to deal with that. But there's nothing I've got to deal with this other thing that I've said, because I never partook in it. And I condemn every single person who did partake in that, because they made a very, very grave error. They never exercised wisdom or intelligence at all. They were scared, following fools. And so, if anybody deserves to fall foul of any governing machinations, then those people do, who are complicit in that. You have to know that government lie all the time. Not just now and again, all the time. It's all manipulation and propaganda and coercion and terrorism all the time, people. And if you listen to it, you do it at your own peril. And if you believe it, you deserve where they're taking you. And that's it. And so what I'm saying in my videos, in all my biblical discourses, is exactly the same. The people who wrote that stuff and compiled that stuff are the same people that are telling you to take stuff now. They've said everything to prevent you from getting into the kingdom of God. In those books, you will never get into the kingdom of God reading that dogma and taking it on that level. You have to get very philosophical, very spiritual. You have to open up yourself for spirit to awaken within you before you have the greatest insight of what that stuff is about. And only then will you start to interpret what those sayings mean, because it's all been hidden from the muggle. It was the intention to hide it from the beginning. But those of us who are spirited can see through that very clearly. Those who aren't spirited cannot see it. They just cannot see it. And so there is a great difference in the levels of consciousness of the human being. And those who are highly conscious and spirited, they're in the top tiny percentage. And there is some people who use that level of extended consciousness for evil. And so they do all different sorts of things that the muggle can't see. But when we are awoken and enlightened, we can see what they're doing as clear as day. Like we can interpret the Bible as clear as day. We see and we perceive a whole lot more than the vast majority of people never do. But the masses don't listen to people like us unless we're telling them what they want to hear. And if we ever tell them that they're fools and they're being led up the garden path, then they will want to stone us. That's just how it is. But in this day and age, the stoning's out of fashion. And so I don't live in fear of being stoned walking down the street. And I don't live in fear, full stop. and I'm able-bodied enough, if anybody ever did, oh, you're that awakened brave, oh, I'm going to show you, oh yeah, how are you going to do that then? Fucking catch this, poof, poof. Right then, food time. Oh. Right. Plate. Microwave. Warm. Do your thing. Okay, so oh boy, we have got some awesome fodder here. Wow. Dining with the Awakened one.
Do cowbell, do cowbell, do cowbell, do cowbell, do cowbell, do cowbell.
I wander through this life. I've got the taste for it now. I've got the taste for it now. Oh, I wonder. Did I allow these mushrooms to defrost? It's not that warm. Let's get that. And so, I will come to you rather than ask you to come to me. So when that plate's warm, I'm going to get a mess of spaghetti out, and it's all going to be manageable, and I don't have to wind it. I mean, why do that? Just, do people think it's fun? I think it's annoying. And then it drips in your beard, and then when you suck it all fast, it flicks in your eye, and then you got shit in your eye, and it's like, what the fuck? Cut it up into small pieces so you can just put it in the mouth. Right. Oh, I really do love you. Come on! Oh yeah! You know what's going on. You know what time it is. Woo! Ouch! Ouch! Woo! Ow! You know what time it is. It's eating like a king with the Awakened Brave time. Right, I think. I'm just gonna let that go for 1 more minute. So, I'll have to keep you in suspense as to how it tastes, but I've got a sneaking feeling it's gonna be scrummy. And let's see. Yeah. Now the only thing in there, the only thing would be a nice addition with some nice garlic bread. But I never really buy that. And get the appropriate utensil for the job. Yeah. that's good. Right then, let me just take you over here to the dining table, right? Just to finish off, just so I can explain to you what it really tastes like. Right. Okay, so there we have it in all its glory. So the packet chili powder is appropriate, fine, and here's a piece of beef on the end there, not cooked too much. Here is a St. George's mushroom. Now, the only thing about these mushrooms is they're a little bit chewy because they've been frozen. They don't freeze well, and that in itself is a little bit disappointing, but yeah, I don't think I'd do it again. You know, I've done it now, I've got a load of them in the freezer. I wouldn't do it again because a chewy mushroom isn't really what you expect. Most mushrooms are not chewy. And so, you know, pasta now and again, you know, I don't eat it that often. When something's really hot, it just adds to the culinary experience, doesn't it? It's kind of spicy hot and physically hot. You've got both those hotnesses going on, and it's kind of like you put it in your mouth knowing that you're going to get burnt, but now, what I would have done, had I given thought to this meal, was bought some chili peppers, fresh. And sometimes, in addition to what I've got here, I will sprinkle mature grated cheese over it. I probably will do that on subsequent sit-ins, but this time, because I had a load of grated cheese last night on baked potatoes, I won't indulge. But before it gets cold, as you can see, and here, it is an awesome meal, and so I'm going to polish it off.